Hey guys, Matthew here. So after several weeks of using the Dell XPS 15 2020, I've got some thoughts on this, and some good, some bad, but mostly good. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So one of the big things about this computer is that I'm going from MacBook Pro 13-inch, which is like all aluminum, to something else. And this is the Dell XPS, and it is honestly very beautiful. It all metal design pretty much, which is nice. I really like that. And just on the outside, it's very minimalistic. You just have the Dell logo on the top here, and other than that, it's just all minimalistic, very nice. The metal feels very good. So overall, just really good, and the build quality is just amazing. This is a hefty machine. However, going from a 13-inch to a 15-inch, of course, it's going to be a little bit heavier than the 13-inch, but honestly, I've kind of gotten used to the heft, the 4.5 pounds, I guess, of the 15-inch Dell XPS 15. One of the big things, though, is when you compare it to, let's say, the MacBook Pro 16-inch, that computer has 1 extra inch, I guess, technically, of screen real estate. However, it is 0.1 pounds lighter than the Dell XPS 15-inch, and so part of me wishes that Dell was able to kind of at least shave a little bit off. However, I know that this model, this is the top of the line, has a 87 watt hour battery, and so I know that it has the bigger battery, so therefore it's going to be a bit heavier than, let's say, the 56 watt hour battery. But just be in mind that if you're planning on taking this on a trip or anything like that, it's going to be considerably heavier than, let's say, a MacBook Pro or something like that. But overall, this is a great computer, and build quality is very nice. Okay, so let's get with the, I guess, the biometrics of this. This computer gives you 2 different options here. You've got the face unlock option with the IR facial recognition camera in the top, which is really cool to see that Dell was able to, hold on a minute. Dell was able to have the face unlock camera, the IR camera, in a bezel this small. I mean, honestly, the bezel is very small. It's what Dell calls its infinity display, meaning that the bezels are super small, to where if you had more than one, you could put them side by side and it would supposedly look like it was one screen. However, of course, it doesn't, because you do have small bezels. But anyways, overall, it is very nice. I do like, as you can see here, how in the previous model, the screen did kind of, there was a bottom bezel that was very, very large on the bottom. So Dell was able to kind of get rid of that and make the screen go all the way down to the bottom, which is nice. It gives you more screen real estate. I think it's a 16:10 aspect ratio rather than a 16:9 aspect ratio. So this is going to be better for content consumption, video watching, surfing the web. You're going to be able to get more stuff on the screen rather than just that regular 16:9 aspect ratio. Overall, though, the screen is very nice. The other biometrics would be the fingerprint scanner. It's built into the power button here on the top right. It's very similar to Apple's fingerprint scanner in the sense that the power button doubles as a fingerprint scanner. So it's very responsive, reliable. I haven't had any issues. However, I prefer to unlock my computer with facial recognition. But you do have both those options if you want. You have a choice. Plus, you also can put in your password or your PIN or anything like that as well. So you're not just limited to one or the other. You have all the different options. So in my opinion, good job, Dell, for at least giving us options, especially in a world where computers are giving you one or the other. Dell gave you everything. So good job, Dell, on that. Onto the screen. This screen is beautiful. I'm used to the Retina display on the MacBook Pro and all that, But overall, like, the screen is amazing. I currently have the 4K Quad HD Plus display here that is a touch display, and so I know that costs a lot extra. However, there is a standard 1080p non-touch screen display if you want that option. I wish that Dell offered possibly a 4K non-touch display, but to charge like an extra 400, extra whatever for 4K plus the touchscreen, I just wish that they did the 4K non-touchscreen display. But that's just myself. I know some people like it this way, but I could use without the touchscreen, but I like the 4K. So overall, like watching videos on this, watching movies, doing some video editing, the screen looks amazing. Okay, so a big thing about this that's given it a lot of hype are the speakers themselves. These speakers honestly sound really good in my opinion. They are loud, they are robust, they give you some bass, they have some good mids and highs. They're almost competitive with the MacBook Pro speakers, especially on the 16-inch. I know that everybody compares the speakers to MacBook Pro speakers because those are the standard of laptop speakers, and so for Dell to be able to make a speaker system that is comparable to that, it's not quite there, but it's getting there, is a good thing in my opinion for Dell and for Windows computers in general. These are definitely the best speakers on a Windows computer. If you're watching content through your speakers, you're not going to want to like push up the volume a bit because it can get loud. But I know, like for me, when I watch videos on my MacBook Pro, I tend to have it about 50% and it's a good volume. I can hear everything, and so that's the same with the Dell XPS 15-inch. So just be aware that if it's coming to content consumption, when you couple the screen plus the speakers, you're not going to have an issue at all. So the keyboard is really nice. I really like the keyboard. It's very responsive. The key travel is not a whole lot, and the keys feel really good. It feels amazing to type on. I'm again going from a MacBook Pro 13-inch with those butterfly switches, which was a horrible decision by Apple, and obviously they've seen that finally and they are now moving to scissor switches. But these keys on this Dell XPS 15 in my opinion are very nice. I really like them. They're very responsive. Some say that they are a little mushy, and I will admit they are a little bit mushy, but overall the keyboard is nice. Everything's where it needs to be, everything's laid out correctly. No shift key that's super small, no anything like that. The arrow keys aren't your inverted T like you might be used to. They are full-size right and left arrow keys, and then the small little rectangular up and down keys. But other than that, everything else is perfect when it comes to the keyboard, and it is a very nice typing experience for me, at least. The trackpad. Okay, so we have to talk about the trackpad because Dell has had an issue since the launch of this computer back in like June or even May, I believe, when they did initially launch this computer. Dell had an issue with the trackpad registering clicks when people were just using their finger to move around the screen on the trackpad. So let's talk about this for a minute. I have not had an issue with unregistered or registered too many clicks on my trackpad. I think that issue has been fixed, and if you do have that issue, you can contact Dell and they will try to either replace your computer or try to help you fix it, and like that. So that's nice that they do that. So now the issue I've had with mine is that the trackpad is almost, let's say, not too responsive, but I'll be swiping over a little bit and I'll stop to like hit an icon or press an X or something like that, and my cursor will just slowly move over in whatever direction I was moving the cursor to. So for instance, let's say I'm moving it to my importance folder. I'll move it over and then my cursor will just slowly move off the folder. So the issue for me is that when I'm trying to do some work and I'm getting to like, I need to like edit a sentence or something like that, I'll move the cursor to where I want to edit. And then right before I click that button to like put the cursor right there, the cursor will actually start moving and I'll end up being like, when it says I'll end up being on the E rather than before the T. It's an annoyance. I've contacted Dell, I've tried everything, and they don't seem to know what's going on. I'm not sure if it's just my issue, or what, but it's kind of annoying in my opinion. I've gotten to the point where I just basically use my MX Master 3 mouse rather than the trackpad itself. However, sometimes I can't do that, and so I just have to deal with the annoyance. But I'll see if I can figure that out, but overall it's just a little annoying. I will say though that I did get a D-brand skin for the trackpad and it has helped a little bit, but not a whole lot. It still does it, so that's quite annoying. I would recommend getting a D-brand skin because this video isn't sponsored, but I do tend to put D-brand skins on all of my stuff, my trackpad for this, my trackpad for my MacBook Pro, on my phone, stuff like that. So D-brand is a great way to kind of personalize your device in order to just make it more you. You can do, at least for the Dell XPS, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do the trackpad, the palm rest, the outside, all that. So anyways, I love D-brand. So again, this is not sponsored by them, but I just wanted to say that. But yeah, so I did put a D-brand skin on it and it does help a little bit, but I'm still having that issue. I know that Dell people said, well, maybe you have oil on your finger. However, one, I don't really eat at all around my computer, but also like I kind of wash my hands a lot, and so I tend to like not have oil on my fingers whenever I'm using the trackpad, and it still does it. I'm not sure. I've cleaned the trackpad, I've done everything I could, I've run diagnostics on it, and it's still, I'm having that issue. So if anybody else has that issue and they found a fix for it, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it because it is quite annoying, especially when I'm trying to highlight something or click something real quick and I just, the cursor just moves. It's very annoying. Again, I'm going from a MacBook Pro, which has probably the best trackpad in the laptop business, to a Dell XPS, and I thought that this trackpad would be not quite as good, but pretty good, but just that small annoyance. Really, it just makes the whole thing kind of annoying, and I wish that it could be fixed. I'm not sure if it's a software issue or what, but anyways, if you have a fix for that, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear, to see if you guys have found a fix for it, so in that way I can find a fix for it as well, because it does get annoying. Okay, so to go through, I guess, the computer again, is this part right here, the palm rest is amazing. It's kind of cool to the touch, whereas like, let's say your MacBook Pro has the all aluminum body and it can get cold on your palms, all that, and it's kind of sharp on the edges. This has this carbon fiber weave that's soft to the touch and it's cool to the touch, and it feels really good to just place your palms on it. I love it. I think it's amazing. I did have a worry of it getting like greasy and all that, or anything like that, but I haven't had that issue. I thought I might, but I really haven't. It does well with kind of repelling grease and smudges and all that, so it's really nice to see that Dell kind of has added this. They've had it for years, and it's really nice to see that it's still there, and it looks really nice. When I open this up, I'm just like, wow, this is a nice computer, and it feels really good too. I really like it. So okay, so I bought this computer for $3,100. This is the top of the line spec computer, so it's I think it's 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of internal SSD storage. It has the 87 watt hour battery. It uses the 4K touch display. Overall, this computer, in my opinion, is worth it. This is a powerhouse. I've been able to do anything on it, everything on it, and it hasn't really had to throttle a whole lot. I've done some video editing on it, I've done some photo editing on it, stuff like that. I've just kind of surfed the web, I've done some work on it for my personal job, and this has held up perfectly to that. So overall, I would say this is great. If you're in the market for a new laptop, especially like a Dell or a Windows laptop, I would definitely recommend the Dell XPS 15 if you're a professional, or if you're someone who uses a lot of like content creation or anything like that. This is a great laptop. This isn't for someone who is probably just needing a laptop to surf the web or do like take notes for school or anything like that. I would definitely say that something more down the lines of, let's say, a MacBook Pro 13-inch lower tier, or MacBook Air, or maybe even the Dell XPS 13-inch would be better for something like that. But if you're using a laptop for more content creation, coding, stuff like that, this is a great laptop. It's going to give you plenty of horsepower, plenty of juice. I've got the 10th gen i7 Intel Core processor here, so it is the top of the line. I think Dell is going to offer a 10th gen i9 Intel Core processor in the next few months possibly, and then they're also going to offer, I think, an Arctic White version of this, which would look really nice. But overall, I think that this is a great computer, and for the money, it's really good. When comparing the price of this with the price of a spec'd out MacBook Pro 16-inch, which I would say this competes with the 16-inch. This, for your money, is more bang for your buck than, let's say, the MacBook Pro 16-inch. But anyways, that's been my review of the Dell XPS 15-inch 2020. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified when I post another video. Until then, everyone, stay safe.